Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we are back with another recording of Hearthstone. Today is Wednesday, February 28th, and we are not doing very well at all getting data quests done. We've got this Tavern Brawl Wild arena run, and we'll trade this out. And the good news is they are going to improve these so they're a little bit easier and a little bit kinder as far as how much gold you earn. That will allow me to work faster towards a complete collection in my main Americas account and do a better job in general with the newer Asian and European accounts. So we're going to play as a priest. And this wild thing that ends in 4 days probably means that the next expansion, I wouldn't be surprised if it happens in 4 or 5 days. Like, I would not be surprised at all if that was exactly what they're trying to do, is make you run out of cold. Let's see. Deadshot notices that I opened actually not a cold one, a very hot Fresca, which is the only canned drink I drink. Very hot, very bubbly. I was very potentially going to burp with all that bubbles directly into the microphone, and I'm sure there is a disturbing amount of people who are inebriated either by alcohol or other substances such as drugs that stream and play video games on the internet. I do not want to be one of those people. I think that's ridiculous, and you're just taking your two hobbies, I suppose, and doing too much work with them. Let's see. That. So I'm trying to make a classic priest deck that has a decent chance of swap the attack and health of a minion. There. We got those. Got those. And then Holy Nova. There. There. We want the Arachni Soul Priest for sure. We want this guy. We want this one. We want these two. We want these two. Do we have anything else? We want these two. And I put in Reno Jackson, but he's not going to work in this deck. So we'll take that. And let's get rid of a Holy Fire and take that instead. Get rid of that, take that. And I'm gonna take out this one and take this one. I think that's a pretty good deck. That's a pretty good deck to play priest cards and play priest and actually try and win. One of my fans on the chat has made it to 7-1 and then took a break. If I could make it to 7-1, that'd be great. If I could make it to 12-0, that'd be great. In all honesty, if I get 3 losses, that would just be like, okay, well, that saves me some time and I can move on. Tragic Master says Radiant Elementals. That's probably the name of a meta deck. And I probably could actually play it, but like, I just keep turning away from meta decks. I don't I don't want to have to go look them up. I don't want to have to try and copy and paste them. I don't think you could have copy and pasted this anyways. Not in the way that was set up. Maybe, maybe not. So somebody would have had to, I would have had to build the deck from scratch following a guide. My Hearthstone deck tracker app is confused. We already talked about Hearthstone announcing the Year of the Raven, and there's some interesting things in it. The one thing that Kriperian talked about, and I haven't seen anybody else confirm or say this, is that Kriperian said you're going to get dust if you have one of the 3 cards that are going into Hall of Fame, even if you don't disenchant them. And I don't know if this is literally just a misunderstanding of what he was told, or he's just making things up, or what. But that is an interesting idea. Anything that opens the door where Blizzard, Activision Blizzard, gives us dust directly so we can get more cards, that would be great. I also wouldn't mind if at the end of the month you just got 5 cards you didn't have. 5 random, probably classic cards. If they introduced the idea of a pack that was specifically built around the concept of if it was totally built around the concept of these are going to be cards you don't have yet, that would be great. Even if that pack was not purchasable, or that pack costs $10 each, or $50 even for a pack, that'd be kind of crazy to pay $50 for one pack just to know you'd get 5 new cards. Although if you only have a bunch of legendaries left to collect, which older players, that may very well be the case, then that might work. Let's continue attacking. But that's not something that they say they're going to do. It's just something I'd like to see them do. That is incredibly hot. TechSpot has an interesting article that I wanted to go on the rant about. The top 3% of YouTubers account for 90% of all views. Totally makes sense. Let me know in the chat if anybody has a different experience or if they have the same experience. Does anybody really see new channels and like random things that feel like there's very little reason why YouTube would even think you were interested, or channels that are doing similar things to the big content creators, but still for some reason you're seeing these small channels doing that content? Because like React channels, you've got PewDiePie, kind of is a React channel half the time. There's tons of smaller channels of people doing React channels. Do you see any of those? Probably not. You probably just see the Fine Brothers Entertainment reacts and the famous ones. Gaming channels. When I look at the top trending gaming channels, it's just like Roblox people, the same people. Jacksepticeye, PewDiePie sometimes might be in gaming, but he barely is. Speaking of Roblox, there's also a story that somebody is suing the Roblox creators because you can make content in Roblox and sell it to your fans, or just sell it to random people. And one of the YouTubers claims they're owed like $100,000 from Roblox, and Roblox is refusing to pay because they're claiming that the money was ill-gotten, or that in some other ways not valid. I want to play this guy, but I don't have a way to do it. I guess I can play this guy and give him more health. Interesting. So yeah, TechSpot, the top 3% of YouTubers account for 90% of all views. Most won't earn enough from ads to crack the poverty line. Certainly my experience on it. According to research by Matthias Balto, B and A with 2 dots above it, ARTL, a professor at Offenburg University of Applied Sciences in Offenburg, Germany, 96.5% of people who try to earn a living on YouTube won't make enough money to crack the poverty line in the United States, observed at $12,140 of income per year for a single person, or $16,464 for a 2-person household. And let me just say, in the United States, that is not a living wage, and that poverty line is ridiculously low. The real poverty line is if you're not making at least $40,000 for a single person a year, you're struggling in some way. You're actually impoverished. The United States has this thing where people don't want to admit that they're actually lower class and in poverty. So they talk about the middle class, the middle class, the middle class. There is no middle class in the United States. There is only the hugely rich people, the super elite people, and then impoverished people. While it would do wonders for your self-confidence, breaking into the top 3% of most viewed channels isn't a guaranteed payday and may only generate around $16,800 a year, Bartle notes. I think his numbers are off, like, because you don't see where did, I guess maybe you have to sell merch. Maybe Logan Paul bought his mansion through merch and could afford to travel to Japan through his merch. PewDiePie recently traveled to Japan too, so like somebody's getting more than $16,000 a year if you're traveling to Japan. That's like, you could potentially spend $1,600 in a week's trip, and well, $16,000. Well, yeah, you could spend about 10% of your income in a week's trip to Japan, just on the airplane tickets and hotel things. The sad truth here is the idea of making YouTube make money for people is probably not a good concept. The bigger sad truth is that kids these days who are looking forward and trying to have a career are going to have almost no opportunities at all. Even adults these days who are looking for jobs have almost no opportunities at all to make money or rise in their station, get promotions, have retirement, afford healthcare, which is ridiculously expensive. Using the ballpark figure of $1 per 1,000 views, it's easy to see how millions of views can translate into serious income. Let's see. $1 per 1,000 views is not the right number. I know YouTube doesn't really encourage people to talk about their money, but I do it anyways. I don't think it's a violation, but of anything. But $1 per 1,000 views is not accurate. It isn't, because I have about 250,000 views, and if that was true, I would have earned about $250 from YouTube, and I only earned about $150. So you're off. But also, that number is not accurate in the opposite direction. When you're a big YouTuber, you get a lot more money per view than if you're a small YouTuber. So this guy's really not working with good info. Deadshot says, "Oh, just being sponsored by some franchise or company could allow for free stuff and such." Yep. But I imagine if you're being sponsored by a company, you may be getting a paycheck from them. You may be getting payouts and such. But I don't know if that's valued at high numbers. That might get you to the $40,000 a year, which is what I would argue the poverty line is. But I don't think it gets you too much higher than that until you are a big time celebrity. And I'm not even sure if PewDiePie tried to sign a Nike contract and Nike wanted to do business with him, if they would pay him much more than maybe $40,000 to $60,000 for an endorsement. The bigger issue here isn't, I suppose, that the money goes to the top 3 YouTubers, because I honestly don't feel like YouTube is directly paying top YouTubers much more than what they'd pay a small YouTube channel like me back when they paid me. They probably were still taking something like a 25% cut instead of a 30% cut. I don't think YouTube was giving them some sweet deal where they were only taking 5% or 10%. I think the bigger problem is the visibility. At least that's my issue. It's like, I don't really care right now if I make money on my channel, but I really do care that my channel doesn't get any visibility, that they don't, I don't see any of the videos that come out actually succeed or even be given a chance to succeed. Like, when a video that's pre-recorded comes out on my channel, it's getting 2 views. I talked about this earlier, and it seems like it only gets 2 views, and it seems like it's possible those 2 views may have just been me watching my own videos, checking quality and such things like that. Like, nothing seems to really break out on any consistent basis. Nothing seems like it gets shown. That's what's so great about the idea of, if YouTube is going to be honest about the number of impressions it's giving to my videos, at least I could say, well, the reason why nobody's clicking on my videos is because I don't have an artist making thumbnails, and my thumbnails aren't interesting because they're just random things. At least I could have something to explain there. Or I could see that actually they're not actually giving me any impressions or recommending my videos to anybody. Speaking of not recommending videos, the Logan Paul suspension of ad revenue lasted for 2 weeks, which is half the time it should have lasted, honestly, because if you had gotten a community guideline strike, which he should have gotten, and treated Logan Paul like any other YouTuber, he would have had to wait, I believe, 30 days to be able to remonetize his channel. So they cut him some slack, definitely, but they did do something, which is more than what they were doing before. It would be nice if the world was fair and people followed all the same rules and got treated equally, but that's never going to happen, so whatever. Deadshot says, I don't know if it would boost your income. I'm not certain how it would work. Well, the way it works right now, since they kicked all small YouTubers out, like right now on my channel, is I'm getting 0 income. There are no ads that are running on my channel anymore. It's been about a week since they implemented this. They told us about 30 days earlier to that. until I have about 1,000 watch hours more. No, not 1,000 watch hours, 1,000 watch minutes more. Uh, which is to say, until I got a little bit more viewers, because you need 4,000 watch hours to be monetized, and you need 1,000 subscribers, and that's what killed my channel really. If I had 1,000 subscribers instead of the 250 good subscribers that actually care about my content and actually do want to watch my content, and then if I had 1,000, I would have made the 4,000 watch hours in the last 12 months, and I would have qualified. But since I didn't, they kicked me out, so I'm not making any money at all. If you are monetized, people watching your video more and for longer gives you more YouTube Red, if they have YouTube Red. And people watching your videos and seeing more ads gives you more content. People clicking on your ads gives you more money, and people buying products that are being sold on those ads gives you more money. So there have been instances where people have clicked on an ad on my video, spent $500 on some mobile game, and then because they spent $500 in this mobile game, I was given a pretty decent payout of like $1.20 or something out of that. But most people, it's just watching ads, just showing ads. Also, YouTube, as they were kicking out people, introduced sponsorships, which is just kind of like Patreon, where you can monthly sponsor somebody. There was also Super Chat that was introduced, where people could pay money to elevate chats during live streams. So as they were kicking people out of the YouTube Partner Program, the small channels, they were also introducing more ways that people could make money. The amount is never very consistent. It depends just kind of on what the advertisers bid in a back room silent auction. So they may say this person's channel is more desirable, so we want to be on this person's channel. But for small people, small YouTube channels, you're just kind of placed in certain brackets and sold as packages. Like kind of similar to the subprime loan packages that were sold during the housing bubble. But yeah, advertisers just throw money at you. So right now, the only thing that gets me money, if I want to change the monetization back to letting YouTube take 30% of the ad revenue from me, which is what the YouTube Partner Program did, would be to just get everybody to subscribe to my channel. I think I still definitely want as many subscribers at all, but it has changed what kind of subscribers I really care about. I used to want people that would actually watch my content and enjoy it. Now, because YouTube changed the rules and moved the goalpost, I just want random subscribers. So if you see somebody lay down their phone, you know, go to YouTube, subscribe to my channel from that. It doesn't matter if they never watch a video or anything like that. Just random crazy subscribers until I get to 1,000. And once I'm at 1,000, then I probably would have enough momentum to much quicker get to 2,000. It's a lot harder to get that first 1,000 than it is to get the next, or 1,000 when you have 1 million subscribers. For the most part, I'm also suggesting people think about just running an ad blocker on YouTube at all times, and only turning it off when you're watching somebody who has less than 100,000 subscribers, because the big YouTubers were not helpful, and they kind of just were happy to see all the small YouTubers go, and that's really just going to lead to YouTube eventually becoming even worse than it is, because as the old YouTubers get too old to make content or go on to do something different, there won't be a new generation, because That nobody's going to spend 5 years trying to make a channel on YouTube, not making any pennies, not making even a single penny. I was happy with the pennies I was getting, but now YouTube says no, you have to do more work. You have to prove you're worthy for the pennies you were earning, which is not fair and not kind and not even a smart way to run your business. And the reason they did this was not very valid as far as their argument, because they said they were trying to kick out channels that had stolen content, like the channels that upload videos and music that they don't own, and channels that had like terrorist propaganda films on it, which doesn't make any sense because both of those types of channels actually would have qualified for the 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers easily, and they would have been kicked out anyways. So they just kicked out small creators for no reason. But I don't want to fully get into a rant there. Right now, the monetization policy is just asking people to friend me on Steam and either gifting me a game on Steam, whether it's a game on my wish list or just a game they want to see me play. Or if you don't want to make a choice, there's at the bottom of the Steam page is a gift option, gift card link. You can in increments as low as $5 gift money, and I can just spend that towards games. So I'm just trying to reduce costs because I spend about $600 a year on video games to have them and to have the more options as far as covering things. If you buy something that has a Steam code, direct message it to me on Twitter if we want to get things cheap on Humble Store. But that's kind of the monetization thing right now. Like, I thought about doing a Patreon. I very possibly would have gotten 1, maybe 2 people on the Patreon, but then I fear Patreon might have just kicked me out for not having enough patrons, and so I didn't want to get to that. I really don't like the idea even of asking for people to give me games, because it puts the burden on the few super fans to pay for all the other content, for all the other people who are just watching. Whereas when you were doing the ad model, everybody was watching the ad or they were getting YouTube Red, and it was spreading it a little bit more evenly. Let's see. Tragic Master says, too many voices being heard, too many independent points of views being heard, so cull those who are not in the club. Just my opinion. Yeah, that is certainly a lot of the conspiracy theory, like that the liberal channels and channels being run by minorities are specifically trying to be helped out by YouTube, and a lot of YouTube employees have directly said that that's what they're trying to do. And on the other side, people that don't have the exact same way of thinking as YouTube employees have seen their channels specifically. It feels like their channels are specifically being targeted and demonetized. That was the whole thing with the demonetization. Deadshot said earlier, I suppose advertising your channel somehow would raise more awareness. Yeah, but advertising is a very expensive thing to do, except for word of mouth, and which is free. And word of mouth is the best form of advertising, not just because it's free, but also because it is the one form of advertising that people don't particularly see as advertising. There are ways, certainly, to pay to promote videos on Facebook. There are ways to pay to promote videos on YouTube. And there are ways to promote videos on Twitter and any number of other sources. Can I afford any of them? No, because they are thousands of dollars expensive advertisement packages. Would they, in the long run, even make me money? No. I actually ran a business before this. I may have honestly probably run 2 or 3 businesses before this. I'd have to think about that. And I paid for advertisement in the newspaper, and it was a very expensive thing to pay for a very small bit of advertisement that literally got me no business whatsoever. To really make advertising work, you have to go with the Coca-Cola style of advertising, where there are Coke cans in the backgrounds of movies, in magazines, everywhere. It's just flooding the subconscious of the creator. And that doesn't even work, last I heard, for Coca-Cola, because people are drinking less and less of that. The truth of the matter is, a lot of people are selling things people don't want and don't need. You definitely don't need to watch my YouTube channel. There's no need there. A lot of people probably aren't going to like my style of doing things, certainly. So there is a lot of people that don't want it too. And it's a really hard task to comb through the people who don't want or don't need a YouTube channel to find the people who might be interested in it. And that's particularly right back to the point where I was happy with my 250 subscribers. I was happy with my 100 subscribers. And if I tomorrow got 800 bad subscribers that were just bots, but somehow YouTube didn't catch them, which certainly that is another way that some YouTubers have tried and potentially succeeded in growing their channel, is by just cheating. But if I had 800 bots tomorrow and that let me monetize and just go back to the way I was a month ago, I would be happy again. Like, I know I was only making like $100 in advertising a year, and I know that's not a realistic amount of money, certainly, but I was also in the process of trying to improve my channel, trying to do a better job of being a better content creator as in the same time. It's the setback, it's the fact that they move the goalpost that really hurts me. If it was really just about the money, like I would have just said, I'm out of here. I would have just changed my channel to be a drama reaction channel. I have had to change my channel in some ways. I'm trying out more clickbait titles on these, or search engine optimization titles, whatever you want to call it, on the live streams, to see if that actually improves views. To me, my experience on YouTube is that people who do clickbait, people who do drama, are the people that succeed. And I wish YouTube would fix its algorithm so that wasn't the case, but it is. Let's see. Deadshot says, I know a guy who just recently started a YouTube career, and he advertises his channel on multiplayer games. He also set up his own Discord channel. I set up a Discord channel, and then I never really understood how it worked, so I never did anything with it. And I don't play multiplayer games, so I don't know how he advertises himself on multiplayer games, whether he's just getting into lobbies and yelling at people, watch my YouTube channel, watch my YouTube channel. That wouldn't really work for my channel too well, since I don't play YouTube channel multiplayer games. Man, oops, I did the wrong thing there. Like, last year was also the year that kind of broke me. I worked way too hard, made way too much content. Many people will probably argue that's not true, but in my experience, I was working way too much and making too many things at the same time. And so ever since this year started, I'm more and more feeling like an old man and struggling to even to record 2 or 3 hours a day of content. There's not enough time in the day anymore, not enough energy in my body to attempt to find ways to advertise and do even more work. There's a ton of work that happens in running a YouTube channel in the background that people aren't aware of. To start with, doing more of it doesn't work. Don't get me wrong, if my channel had 1 million subscribers and I was making money, I would clearly hire somebody to advertise me. But when you're doing it yourself, every second you take away to do something in the background that isn't creating content is a second that nobody sees, and very often doesn't help a channel. And it is also very possible that in the process of starting a new YouTube channel, you can feel like you're doing great, and it's not until you're a couple of years into it and you realize you haven't improved anywhere as much as you have, that things start to feel a little different, and you have a different opinion of how things are going. Because once you're in that honeymoon period, things always start great. Certainly the case on my YouTube channel. Like, one video felt like it was something super impactful and super important, but in all honesty, it isn't. Not in a realistic, I'm gonna make this be my job type way. Because this is the Americas account, I haven't reset, so I don't really have a reason to play ranked right now. So we'll just play casual wild. Deadshot says XD, more or less it's something like that. Yep. There's been a couple of people over the course of like 3 years that have asked me what I do on Hearthstone, and I've said, oh, I'm a YouTube streamer, I'm streaming right now. But I mean, I could certainly try stuff like this and just see who's online and just try and advertise my thing to all my friends, but I just have a bunch of people defriend me. The difference there is when people come to YouTube, they want to see YouTube videos. If they're playing a video game, they probably don't want to watch a video game critic. So you have more of a targeted audience there. So if YouTube just did its job correctly, in my opinion, and suggested to people on YouTube to watch my videos, I think my channel would have been fine. It's just it didn't do that. Instead, it takes small content creators like mine and suggests to people who like my videos and watch them, how about you go watch PewDiePie? And it just funnels all of the small content creators' audience away into the big people's pockets. And that's how I feel the system has been working. And it's hard to prove that that's actually what's been happening, but that's what it feels like. Tragic Master says, I can friendly with you for quest completeness. Yeah, I should have done that. Yeah, come to think of it. So yeah, we'll do that after this game. A Donkey Kong game that I didn't even know existed, which is saying a lot, called Donkey Kong 3 Gyakushu, has been purchased at auction and put online via a fan-led effort. It translates to Donkey Kong 3 The Great Counterattack. It is Donkey Kong and the character that people have forgotten. Now, I'm surprised Stanley the Exterminator hasn't shown up in more like Smash Brothers games. So Donkey Kong 2 in the arcade, you played as this character Stanley the Exterminator, not Mario the Plumber or Jumpman the Plumber. And then they came out with this other game. The Great Counterattack was made by Hudson Soft in the 80s, and it was a disc-based game for Japanese home computers, and so that's why it kind of never converted. I'm not sure if it worked on the Famicom disk drive, or if it worked on a PC, proper PC, IBM compatible PC type computer. But out there somewhere, you can now get this Maxwell CF20 discs housing the game. You can get it running on an emulator. It's a Space Invaders stylish, although I would argue it looks more kind of like a Centipede style game than Space Invaders. Game where Stanley's on the bottom of the screen shooting up his bug spray, and there's bugs flying everywhere, and Donkey Kong is floating by two balloons. Let's see. What do I want to do? It's kind of crazy that a Nintendo licensed property actually came out and like, oh, actually Donkey Kong's being held up by parachutes, not balloons. This game looks like garbage, to be honest, but it's kind of crazy that a Nintendo held property would just be lost to the time like that. There's certainly other properties that that makes sense, that nobody would have ever bothered to have copies of, but a Donkey Kong game? Although, to be fair, it's not particularly easy for somebody to play the arcade version of Donkey Kong 1, 2, or 3 either. You definitely would have to have an emulator and the ROMs. Let's see, we've gone 30 minutes over already. It's been a long day, so let's see if I can maybe speed through the news, even though I know there's a lot more gameplay to do. Peter Mall news: the Trail is now out for Switch. It's amazing that the Trail came out with no real controversy. It didn't try to oversell itself as something, as Peter Molyneux was known to do all the time. It's just a valid little game that does what it does, and seems like it does it pretty well. The Trail is kind of just like a walking RPG, and that's about all it is. The developer behind the Magic Circle has revealed a co-op horror game called The Blackout Club. That doesn't sound good. That sounds like a club that would be established in a school where people are, huffing gas or suffocating each other for fun. The Blackout Club is due out during the first quarter of 2019, following a group of teens who discover they've all been temporarily losing consciousness and waking up in strange places with no memory of what they have done. Okay. So, I was sort of on the ball, or pretty close. Steal. Let's do this. The teens band together and try to work out what's going on and discover tunnels that lead to an underworld filled with weird music and even weirder adults. Let's watch this trailer. It's a 43-second trailer. This certainly seems like a weird musical, like, crazy game, but it also looks slightly well animated. Better animated than I would expect for a game like this. There's this game called Yuminiki Dream Diary that they made a remake of and nobody liked it. And it feels sort of like that. There we go. Victory. Yeah, if YouTube starts telling me how many impressions I get, I'm going to have to wonder how many of those impressions were me again. But I think that's part of the idea. Let's see. Accept. Tragic Master is on the ball. The thing about the Magic Circle is it was a pretty simplistic game, and this looks a lot less simplistic. And this is being made by the co-founder of the company, Jordan Thomas, who was the creative director on BioShock 2, which I know people didn't love BioShock 2 as much as they did BioShock 1, but I think they still made a pretty good game. So I'm gonna look for the Blackout Club when it comes out. Speaking of Discord, since we Tragic Master, by the way, says good game, thank you. PC Gamer has an article, Discord shutters alt-right and Nazi servers, but they're not completely gone. Discord said those servers violate its terms of service. PC Gamer is never going to be happy. Frankly, though, I mean, any service that allows you to communicate in any way is going to be used by people you don't like. If you're making a service that communicates information, whether it's an email server or a chat forum or even YouTube is a communication system of sorts, you kind of have to just resolve yourself to be a dumb pipe. Do your best to control the masses, but you're never going to get 100% ideological purity, I suppose, of having only people on your service that you 100% agree with in everything. The closest service, I suppose, that tries to do that is Reset Era, which is a closed chat forum that broke off of a NeoGAF, and they only let people in that they like, it seems. At least that's what the description left me with the impression of, that you get introduced as a person who can't really fully voice themselves, and you have to prove yourself worthy to be allowed to have all of the privileges that a normal user on Reset Era would have. Let's see. And by killing that, I risked killing my own guy. Moving on, PC Gamer has an article on why people are furious about why people are furious about that Hunt Down the Freeman game on Steam. A game based on the Half-Life universe has been released to extremely negative reviews and a storm of fan fury. Why are they upset about it? Let's see. You know... Oh, because there's scores of accusations that the developer is using assets from other mods and games without permission. You also see a strange explanation from the developer who say the release was rushed in response to harassment of Half-Life fans, as well as a claim that the version of the game that was released isn't the version that was intended. Well, you're in charge of that. You can clearly fix that if you're the developer. Let's see. Hunt Down the Freeman had a troubled start a couple years ago. Its Indiegogo campaign raised exactly $12 from a single backer, and now it's been released, or some version of it has anyways, and troubles continue along the way. It's managed to irritate a lot of people. And see, they interviewed the guy. Did the creators of the game use assets from other mods without permission? Blah blah blah. An earlier demo of Hunt Down the Freeman did use assets from other mods, I was told, but they were used as placeholders during development, which still I feel is illegal. Totally. So take that, I suppose, with a grain of salt. But they were used as placeholders during development. The developer says the placeholder assets are not present in the finished product. So they're really just trying to blame the demo being the wrong version, and inherently that's why you don't use assets like that at all at any point in development, because that does not look good. It does not look good, even if a leaked version comes out saying you're using stolen assets. The next question is it as broken as buggy as Steam reviews say? Well, yes. I can confirm this particular complaint. I played about 30 minutes of it and it ran into a number of bugs. I kind of wonder. I wonder why anybody cares about this. Like, the next big question is, apart from bugs, how is the game? The response is, this is kind of a sticking point for me. While I haven't played much, what I have played has been good. And it's not really something that bug fixes or visual impairments alone can change. I was initially impressed by the cutscene, particularly the cinematic opening sequence, in which the scenes from the main character's traumatic life are bleed together as he grows from child to adult, joins the military, ships out during the Black Mesa crisis from Half-Life, including a couple nice cameos from G-Men. Later scenes, however, feel like they're changing in tone, consistency, and quality. More importantly, between the scenes are a collection of mostly unimpressive first-person shooter levels, and again, the quality and consistency varies from one level to the next. And it looks like that's about all they have to say. I really don't get why people would be so upset about this game. Like, I've just heard of this game, Hunt Down the Freeman. I imagine that there is a ton of fan-made spin-offs of Half-Life. I mean, it's not like Valve put this out. It's not like this is canonically Half-Life 3. There's probably a ton of frustration because of that. Like, I don't think anybody would really even have looked at this game if it didn't have Half-Life in it. It's rated mostly negative, with 22% of the reviews being positive, which is to say that even a horrible game usually gets about 22%. Let's see. Let's see. One review says, not recommended, 5 hours on record. This is a $25 fan-made Half-Life game that stole content from Black Mesa, Payday 2, Gary's Mod, and more. It features voice talents of Keemstar, and I Hate Everything. It's literally impossible to finish the game without cheating because the game consistently crashes on map loads. It's a beautiful, terrible train wreck. Do not buy it as garbage. Oh, I could see. So Keemstar and I Hate Everything are a couple of famous YouTubers, and I guess that would explain what got people in here. Very consistently, any game that has a YouTuber in it is not a game worth playing. It just seems like that is always the case. They seem to hire YouTubers. People who are making low quality games seem to hire YouTubers in the hope that that's going to save and fix everything, and it just isn't. Like I recently did a spotlight on the Angry Video Game Nerd game, and it's a piece of junk game. Do not buy it. Do not even dare pay it. You don't deserve or need to do that. Yeah, somebody recommended the game. It's better than Half-Life 3. So we'll just mark that one as funny. Not helpful. Moving forward, I suppose everybody should just not play that game. And people shouldn't sell their voice. Like, that's another part of YouTube not being a viable way to make your money, is if your job is not paying you enough to make a living, then you have to go out and do desperate things and work for less reputable people. I think I heard a story once of somebody was working at Walmart, being underpaid at Walmart, and during the nights they were breaking into other Walmarts and robbing them just because they were being so underpaid. And that's not uncommon at all. It's like most product theft that happens in any retail store is done by an employee. Well, at least a significant amount, maybe not most. And if you just paid your employees well and treated them right, they wouldn't need nor want to betray the trust you put in them if you actually give them any trust. Let's see. PC Gamer has a article, is Empire of the Undergrowth a worthy successor to Sim Ant? I was watching somebody speedrun Pikmin 3. I want to play the Pikmin series. Sadly, it's not a it's not anything except for a Nintendo Wii U game, so it's not on PC. That sucks. I'd like to play a game that's sort of like Pikmin, and I guess I do have Overlord 2 to play, which was made by the same creators as Pikmin and is effectively the same game. But then I'm out of Pikmin-esque games, and that sucks. I never played Ant Sim. This looks really just like a top-down real-time strategy game, kind of like playing the Zerg in StarCraft. And probably it's possible I'd be better served playing the Zerg as StarCraft and going back and playing StarCraft 2. Suppose that would be one of the few things that people could gift me through Battle.net, since we know that it's not available on Steam, is the Blizzard games. Just don't give me World of Warcraft, because I'll only spend like 30 minutes on it and do a spotlight. This game is rated very positive. 81% of 71 user reviews in the past 30 days as far as an early access game. So, you know, it's something different, but it's something I'll put on my wish list and keep an eye on. A ant colony simulation called Empires of the Undergrowth, a spiritual successor perhaps of Sim Ant, a game I never played, but I know of the Sim series. All of those games were very popular, and I imagine Sim Ant was no exception. And you don't see games like that covered very often, too. You don't see them made very often, you don't see them covered very often. There's a game called Iron Maiden, according to Rock Paper Shotgun, that may just be the second coming of Duke 3D. Let's see, Bombshell is mentioned here. That was a game that came out a few years ago, and it tried to be a new franchise. Let's see. Rock Paper Shotgun has a much shorter article, which I probably should thank them for that, since so many people take too long. Let's see, Iron Maiden from 3D Realms, the creators of Duke Nukem 3D, Prey, and Max Payne 3D. I'm kind of surprised they're still around, because Prey succeeded, but it didn't succeed that well. So I wouldn't have been surprised if ZeniMax, Activision, no, what was it? No, not Activision Blizzard, but ZeniMax, Bethesda, fired everybody and shut down 3D Realms before they made another game. The game is Ion Maiden. I-O-N Maiden, not Iron Maiden. Its graphics don't look great. And this came out February 28th. It came out today. And it has 98% of 61 reviewers saying they like it. It's early access. I won't play a game that's early access. I just don't think that's worth my time right now. Frankly, I just can't financially afford to play early access games either. But I will, in the same way, keep an eye out and decide if, let's see, is this hit this, play this. I'll keep an eye out. Now, it does have a single player content, good, because that's the only part I would play. Alright. Just double check to make sure nobody's chatted. Lots and lots of people chatting today, and that really is a thanks to the people who got in the chat early and actually started talking, because there's a clear number of increased comments and increased viewers when people get on the chat and interact. That tells the YouTube algorithm that this video, this live stream is interesting and popular, to let's suggest it to more people, which is good because the YouTube app, at least on my phone, does not suggest my own videos to me. But oddly, the YouTube gaming app does. So often videos will come out and I will only have seen them on the YouTube gaming app, even though the bell is the exact same bell for notifications. And I've clicked it and I've said I want all notifications, but it just doesn't happen. And so if I know that even my own videos aren't being recommended to me, it's probably only worse as far as my own videos being recommended to new people. It really is the fans that make a channel on YouTube. You really have to be responsive. You really have to not forget that, because they can create and they can easily destroy you. Let's go ahead and mute this. I'm having to clean up my Twitter now because I've got too many things showing up on Twitter. PC Gamer has an article. Modders are rebuilding Fallout 3 and Fallout 4. It's the Capital Wasteland Fallout 3 remake. In all honesty, I don't know what you gain so much by doing that. Like, it seems like a very ambitious and amazing mod to only slightly improve your graphics compared to Fallout 3 and Fallout 4. Maybe slightly change the systems around and the perk systems and things. And if you give Bethesda ideas, they may try and resell Fallout 3 again in a Fallout 4 engine, and then we'll just have a Skyrim remastered like we had Skyrim remastered. It would just be Fallout 3 remastered with nothing actually being that remastered, or bugs from the original game still not being corrected. This mod looks good. I don't understand why you would want it, and why not just play the old game. Moving on. I really didn't believe I'd ever say this again in my life, but there's a new Zoids series called Zoids Wild. It's been announced, and it's coming. It's going to include a Switch game. Zoids, if you're not familiar, is a Garage Kit toy line that had a cartoon along with it, and anime. They're monsters that, well, they're animals, creatures that that are robots too. So somebody's piloting the robots. I believe the creatures also merged. Odd story. Somebody found at a local hobby shop in the United States a Zoids kit that had a motor in it and made this Pegasus-like creature move, and they got it for me. I don't know really why. Maybe just because maybe you're born an anime fan, not made into one. Because this was before, I was way young and didn't know what anime was or anything. So somebody bought me this kit and I built it, and it sat on the shelf for a long time, and then I think it fell over at some point and broke. Tragic Master says this is his new Warlock deck he crafted that he's going to show off. Zoids as a cartoon, watching the English like kid-friendly dub version is fine. I don't think the anime, even in its original version, was that too bad. It still is that light form of fighting, but even Pokemon never really got around away from that. Zoids was never as popular as Digimon or Pokemon, and it was perhaps a couple of years earlier than those two. And any garage kit toy manufacturer is mostly there to sell you toys, and they are kind of sleazy. Transformers was the same way. It's just the Transformer toys didn't require assembly. Let's see, I'm watching this trailer and they said it like 1999 was one series, and there was a series before that I didn't see. They're showing like old commercials. The creatures combine. I'm pretty sure they combine. And these kids aren't, the drivers are not in like the inside, they're riding on top, which I don't recall them all doing that. But this is the new anime they're showing off. And there was something about the Zoids and some kind of magic or synergy you had with the creature that allowed it to unlock more abilities, so they could sell you new versions of the toy. So the anime will air on MBS TV in Japan. I have not heard of that station. And the Switch game doesn't have any details. It might come to the West. It might not. It's going to come out in the summer. First two toys are going to be about $30 each. Wild Liger and Gill Raptor, due out in June, so the toys will potentially be out before even the show is out. I suppose we may have hit the point where nostalgia plays for older Japanese people buying toys for their kids might be locking in as something that happens. Your Gamer has a review for the game Moss, the PlayStation VR game where you play as a mouse. It is recommended. They say it's a magical experience that's comfortable enough for a VR newcomer to enjoy, while intricate and immersive enough to thrill VR veterans. Sadly, I just don't want to play this game on VR or anything. Port it over to a PC without VR and I'll try it. It's one of the 2 or 3 mice games coming out this year for some reason. Let's see. I can't believe I still have news. It's like 9:30 US Central Time, and I'm ready to call tonight. I don't even know what I'm gonna do at the post game show. It's just I'm gonna spend all night probably streaming. Just because there's so much to do. PC Gamer has an article solving a short, sweet snapshot of a tragic puzzler photographs. What a horrible title. I'm not misreading this either. Solving a short, sweet snapshot of tragic puzzler photographs. This 5-part puzzler is a shapeshift is shaping up to be a real treat. The game is called Photographs. It's an upcoming game from the creator of You Must Build a Boat and 10 Million, which is great that he finally has a slightly better name for one of his games, and it seems he's finally stopped making games that are just puzzle tile matching games. And instead of making tile matching games, he's made some kind of puzzler games. But it looks a little bit better. It's still not great. It's still very 8-bit graphics, and 3 successful games, in my opinion, later he should really get an artist and stop with the 8-bit graphics. It's not a style, it's a lack of skill or effort. That being said, I've played You Must Build a Boat, and I've played 10 Million, so once Photographs comes out on PC sometime in 2018, I will play this game too. Of course, I don't see a link or anything that says it has a Steam link yet, so I'll just have to remember that, although I could double check later. Moving forward. Moving on to the next article. Let's see what Tragic Master said. Tragic Master says, I like it. Tragic indeed. Lol, what a title. Yeah, that was a horrible title. Like, more and more I am seeing people misspell things, just like not even care about what their article is going to look like. And you know, these people that are writing these video game articles are not getting paid much. So not only are they not getting paid, they're also not improving their portfolio very well, because when they go and try and work for some other company, and they show off titles with misspellings and are poorly worded, they're not going to get jobs in that either. Moving on though, PC Gamer has a article, Counter-Strike Global Offensive kicks off group stages of Katowice 2018. The IEM World Championships are underway. I don't know what this is, Katowice 2018. It must be a CSGO tournament that I've just never heard of. Well, it's apparently a Polish, best as I can tell, a Polish video game convention conference thing. What can I do? What can I do? Let's do this. Let's do this. And this. And this. And this. How did he get so many taunt things? Malgan is, man, he is playing, Tragic's playing well. I don't even know what he did to get so many, summon 3 1/1 demons with taunt. So now I gotta kill Malgan if I'm gonna win. I don't know. TechSpot has an article, not really about video games, but apparently the inventor, quote unquote, of Bitcoin, Craig Wright, faces a $10 billion lawsuit for allegedly stealing the business partner's coins. He's accused of swindling $1.1 million of bitcoins from David Kleeman. He's the man who once claimed to be the Bitcoin inventor Satoshi Nakamoto, which is a fake name. Now the Australian is making headlines once again for being sued for stealing billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin from a foreign business partner. The lawsuit is filed in the Florida District Court. Let's just play. So yeah, interesting story. Summons for Craig Wright was issued by the court on February 15th. He's currently serves as the chief scientist of InChain. So if your company works with InChain, you might want to look out there. We're going to hear more stories of people stealing Bitcoins, definitely. And we're just not doing any job listings. What is this game? This game came out yesterday. It's called Nephis, N-E-P-H-I-S Ascension. And let's see if I can Steam. How do your videos work? So that you scroll back. The first thing I see in the trailer is a woman in a tube top and a bikini bottom in kind of this fantasy world environment that doesn't fully match. Like, it's a foresty area, so the lack of clothing doesn't make sense. And now I'm seeing a bunch of zombies and a bunch of flying things and all kinds of different types of assets that seems like you're drastically changing from one place to the other, and the world is changing. Was this the game that was supposed to be like Myst, or it was selling itself like Myst? Because it kind of has that Myst feeling. So for having actual characters in it. There's a whole bunch of assets, but this also doesn't look like it's an incomplete mix of assets. Let me read the review. Nafise returns in her deadliest and most expensive adventure yet. Will she escape the Dragon's Valley? Find out in this highly immersive first-person walking simulator with extensive exploration as well as a light puzzle platforming elements. 2 user reviews. Developer, just the name Tongguk with a C with a curly line under it, Bodur, or B-O-D-U-R. And there's a game called Nafise that's on my wish list already for $2. So I guess this is more of his stuff. I wouldn't mind covering walking simulators. So I'm going to put that on my wish list. Like, if it's a short, easy experience, I will take that out. It certainly explains why there's a weird combination of why there's such a wild combination of content there. But and I'm looking at some of the games that this guy's made, and he may be just flipping assets here, because it seems like he might just be selling fake games. Most of them are getting mixed reviews as these walking simulators, and there's a lot of different versions of games. Like, there's a game called Nafise Begins, and then there's a game called Nafise, and there's one called Nafise Ascension. So do you play Nafise Begins? let's see. So there's like a whole series. Somebody's trying to make a video game series or a trilogy, and that's certainly a game that I wouldn't have never found if it weren't for my new source of information showing me every single game that came out. In kind of a shocking turn, Giant Bomb has introduced Giant Bomb TV. It's 10 years of Giant Bomb's history. Let's see. So, Giant Bomb TV will pull from almost every video on our YouTube and play one for everyone in chat to watch at the same time. When your video is almost up, you'll be able to vote for one of a half dozen or so videos to appear next. Or if you want, you can just full screen the video and let Giant Bomb run in the background all day long. For a second there, whoever wrote the article thought it was only for people who are premium members to Giant Bomb's fan club, but that's not true. So it's kind of a web thing. Well, now when I just clicked on this, it immediately said this show is for premium members. So I guess they're wrong about that. Well, they haven't fixed it. It's an interesting idea. Twitch certainly tried to do a similar thing where you schedule pre-recorded videos for reruns to have the entire chat talk about the same thing and watch the same thing at the same time. It's reruns by appointment. This is an interesting idea. We'll see if that as a concept works for Giant Bomb or if it works for anybody. Moving on, PC Gamer has an article. Defiance 2050 is a reimagined sci-fi shooter coming this summer. Oh yeah, how are you reimagining sci-fi shooters that, in all honesty, haven't changed? Well, they're doing an impressive job on this. I'm seeing some aliens, I'm seeing lots of guns. This looks like a Borderlands 3-esque type game. You get your squad, you continue the fight according to the trailer. There's invisible flying robots. Let's see. Defiance is an Trion's 2013 MMO shooter, and it's mostly positive reviews on Steam. So they're trying to spin it off into what may be a co-op game. And apparently the Defiance TV show actually was a tie-in to the game. Yeah, I'm not sure if that TV show is Defiance is still coming on. There was a TV show on Sci-Fi Channel, SYFY, by the way, always gotta point that out, that called Legion, that had nothing to do with the FX show Legion or the X-Men character Legion that the FX show is based on. So it feels like they may have actually just paid them not to or sued them not to make the same show with the same name, because the sci-fi show Legion kind of just ended on a cliffhanger, and I don't think it resolved anything. But then again, that is also very common for sci-fi channel shows, for them to just end and not be finished. So Defiance is an MMO only game, so I can't play that. So I'll keep out an eye and see if if Defiance 2050 has any single player experience that I could have on it. Let's see. I finally just now got my icons back, but that might not actually be too big of an issue. Chrono Trigger is now on Steam. However, it is a port of the mobile game, and user reviews are mostly negative. So if you want to play Chrono Trigger on PC, recommendation would probably still be to play it on an emulator. Why somebody would port the mobile version of the game doesn't make a lot of sense. Like let's see, as of the writing of this PC Gamer article, 23 out of 30 reviews were very firmly negative. There were other issues where controls can't be remapped, and while it says it supports different resolutions, it's actually locked to the resolution of your display. This is just like a horrible Square Enix cash out. Right now, 38% of 226 reviews are positive. So even an awful game seems to get 20% positive reviews. And this is made by Square Enix, published by Square Enix. There's no reason for them to have done this. What can you really even say about this? Like, even me as a video content creator, I don't think I want to play the mobile port of Chrono Trigger to try and review Chrono Trigger that way. That sounds awful. Like, why rush this? Why rush a re-release of an old game? I'm really just at a loss. It makes no sense. Why not just run an emulator and run the ROM of your old game and sell that? That is crazy. Crazy. Tragic Master said, my new fancy toy, Malganus. I think he said that probably a while ago. And we already talked about that. And let's see. And this is kind of weird. Gamatsu has that's not so weird. I thought PC Gamer was writing this article. Song of Memories is now available for PC via Steam. It's a pure wish novel, visual novel. Currently only supports Japanese, traditional Chinese, and simplified Chinese, but will support English and French in the future. Publisher P-Cube will release an English language version of Song of Memories for PlayStation 4 and Switch in 2018 in North America and Europe. A fully animated adventure game, over 30 songs included. And let's look at the Steam page. I don't know what the Steam page would really say. It has like 8 reviews right now. Let's do this. And then let's do this. And then let's kill this. And kill, I guess, this. And then kill this. And do that. trying to see what kind of visual novel-esque game it is. It may not actually be a visual novel game. If they're gonna be late to the party to even bother to put English in it, you can almost guarantee that they're not gonna put full voice acting in it. It does have full Japanese voice acting, and I'm getting red bars saying do not buy this. It has English. It doesn't support English. There's really nothing here. And filters, review helpfulness, beta is enabled, and your language is enabled. Oh wow. I did not realize that I was filtering out reviews in other languages. Review beta. Let's re-enable that. So I would prefer, instead of filtering out other people's other people's languages, I'd prefer them to try and translate this stuff. Because who knows? Might be good. Seems like you can customize it too, so that you can read reviews in other languages if you speak other languages. That's nice. I've learned something new about Steam, at least. Haven't really learned much about the game. And I'm on the Humble Store, and the Games Brawler. Did we already talk about this one? Do I want to do this, or do I want to do this? Let's do this here, and then this here, and then this here. Okay, so the Humble Brawler bundle, for $1 you'll get a Steam key for Guilty Gear XX A-Core plus R, BlazBlue Continuum Shift Extended, and Skullgirls. That's a pretty good deal, I think, to get Skullgirls, because I don't think Skullgirls has really gone on sale very much. If you pay more than the average right now of $5.52, you get Arcana Hearts 3 Love Max. That's a fighting game. Interesting. And you also get Street Fighter X Tekken, Cross Tekken, which is weird because all the games are either very positive or overwhelmingly positive according to Humble Bundle, except for Street Fighter X Tekken. Maybe it's held to a higher standard, very possibly. And then if you pay $9 or more, you get Guilty Gear XRD, SIGN, and Rivals of Aether, which still, that's not too bad. And you also get some soundtracks, but I don't know if you get those soundtracks through Steam or not. I guess I really don't care either. Are there any other bundles for games right now? No, just the Classic Returns bundle, which includes a bunch of point-and-click adventures and classic games. Which, again, if you want to support me, these Humble Bundles, good deals. To get the Steam key, take whatever games you want to keep, give me the rest. On the Classics bundle, Broken Sword 5 I already own, so like if somebody gave me a key for a game I already owned, I probably would just have to find a way to give it away. Here's an interesting article I missed. Kind of surprised I missed it too. The Rocket League has announced a WWE partnership, so we're going to see some wrestling cars come up in Rocket League. It seems like Rocket League will partner with anybody and everybody to promote their product, which isn't a terrible thought, particularly since the type of game it is just a racing game. So this is them finding sponsors. And Facebook is adding features and expanding job listings. I don't know why people would put job listings on Facebook. Like, the last thing you want to do is have a potential employer look at your Facebook, I imagine. And most people have already figured that out enough to have a secondary fake Facebook account. Alright, so I am back to Twitter. Let's see if anything has happened in the several hours that we've been streaming. Can't do anything. This is all I can do. Heal. Let's see. Hearthstone tweeted 5 hours ago, "We are aware of an issue with the March 2018 ranked play session role. Please keep an eye on the thread for updates." So if I want to play ranked at all today, forget it. It's not going to happen. Apparently there was a data breach at the NIS America online store. This is a valid and legitimate email. If you got an email saying that, they're working to resolve the issue. So one would assume this is to be taken as credit cards potentially were stolen. I don't know why I did that. That's not really going to help me. The new Frostpunk developer updates outlines in-game and confirms price. So apparently a game called Frostpunk was in development, and how did he have 40 health? Because of that. So if I could get a clean shot, I could win. Let's see. I'm scrolling down my Twitter feed to see if there's anything worth mentioning, or if I can just save everything for next for Friday. Yeah, I don't know how this post game show is gonna go. It's gonna be It's just gonna be a lot of play, I think. I guess I did the right thing by not sticking with the Asian account and trying to get everything done, because it has taken longer than it should have by far to get where we are, and we're not even really done yet. If I had a single spell card in here that would do a decent amount of damage, I could win. Or if I just had a nice fan playing me, he could just let me win that way. Evil Within episode 38 was aired 3 hours ago on my channel. So on the Americas account, I somehow got all 3 done. That's nice. I didn't realize that. And while we're scrolling down, let's go back to the European account and the Asian account and see what we have left to do. The Dark Souls 2 community is running an event of some sort, so I need to get either play 10 pirates, which I could probably cheat out and do that, or get 3 shaman victories. Either one of those might not be too hard to do. Then the Asian account, I just need one of those things done. That game Where the Water Tastes Like Wine came out, so we'll be interested in seeing that. EA adds a bunch of weird costumes to The Sims 4, no, it adds a bunch of weird Sims 4 costumes to Final Fantasy 15. And then I need to either play 10 cards that cost 8 or more, or play 13 cards that the shaman would work with. Just scrolling down, and this is why I started late in the first place, is my Twitter feed is too much. Right. Hearthstone, 4 hours ago, Hearthstone rank play has been disabled seemingly due to a major play bug. Let's see if this works. Yeah, we were gonna, I think, play shaman cards. Nope, still not fixed. So a lot of people wanting to play ranked, not playing ranked. I suspect we might get some gold for this. We might get a free card pack. Let's see. Ubisoft released a new Far Cry 5 live action trailer. That doesn't matter really. Scrolling down Twitter to see if there's anything important to say before we wrap up and go into the post-game show. Nope, I've just hit the point where we announced this live stream 5 hours ago. A lot of people on the chat. I want to once again thank people for being on the chat. Let's see. I haven't been reading what Tragic Master said. He said, Major Domo for the win. He says, good games, Rydo. I hope you enjoyed my decks and games. They're more enjoyable by far than playing random people that are just playing the top meta decks. At least when you do something wild and crazy, I'm even in my half paying attention mode, I'm like, what did he just do? When you brought out that like whole row of 1/3 demons, I'm like, what in the world did he just do? That is an interesting move and play, not something I usually see. Tragic Master also said Naga C plus Giants for a discount is the best way to finish the Super Guy quest fast. Naga plus Moltons and Mountains and Clockworks. Naga C Witch, I mean. So okay. Thanks for the tip. I'll see if I have any of those cards. If that's what I'm gonna try and do to build them. So we've been going like almost an hour and 45 minutes over. And that's gonna be it for this talking point. This talking part of the stream. Again, thanks everybody who watched. Stay tuned if you want to watch just some silent Hearthstone play where I'm going to pay a little bit more attention because there's no more news to talk about or a chat that I'll still interact with the chat via text and all that, but it'll be a little bit better play. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a bunch of links down below in the description box. If you want to support me, gift me something on Steam. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.